The church was silent. Dust drifted through the broken windows, the air heavy with old prayers and forgotten echoes. He stood, facing her, chest heaving, the bond pulsing like fire under his skin. She waited, calm, patient, as if time itself would bend for her. At last, she spoke. "It is time. You must decide." His voice cracked. "Decide what?" Her glowing eyes softened. "Whether you will fight the bond, or accept it." He laughed bitterly, though no joy touched his voice. "That's not a choice. If I fight, you said it will kill me. If I accept, I lose myself. Either way, I'm gone." Her faint smile never wavered. "No, either way, you are reborn." The first option, run. He thought of running. Again, he pictured himself slipping out the doors, vanishing into the night, hiding in the ruins of some distant world. But the bond inside his chest burned hotter at the thought, as if mocking him. He understood now. Escape was only another chain. Running would only tighten it. His body was no longer his own. The second option, resist. He thought of resisting, fighting her, destroying her. If she was a seed, maybe he could cut it out before it grew too deep. But then he remembered the station, the hunters, the way even machines bent to her will. How could he kill something that was inside him? His mind whispered a cruel answer. He couldn't. The third option, accept. And then came the last option, acceptance. He imagined what he saw in her vision, a version of himself glowing with alien light. Neither human nor something else, powerful, unstoppable. But was that still him? Or was it just her, wearing his skin? Her truth. She stepped closer. The glow in her eyes brightened, filling the room with silver light. "You fear losing yourself," she whispered. "But have you ever truly known who you are? You live in shadows. You work for scraps. You breathe, but you do not live. I can change that." Her voice slid into his mind, velvet and steel. "I can give you meaning. I can give you love. I can give you forever." His heart pounded. "And if I say no?" Her answer was soft, but final. "Then forever will still come, only with pain." The moment he trembled. His hands shook. His eyes burned with tears. "This isn't fair," he whispered. Her smile widened, gentle but terrifying. "Fairness is for mortals. You are mine now. That is truth." She held out her hand, glowing. Waiting, the choice stood before him. The twist, he took a step back. Then another. "No," he said, his voice firm for the first time. "I won't give in. I won't let you take me." Her glowing eyes narrowed. But instead of anger, she smiled. "Good." His heart skipped. "Good, yes," she said softly. "The bond is not fed by surrender. It is fed by struggle. If you had accepted me so easily, you would have been too weak. But you resist. You fight. That is why you were chosen." His stomach dropped. "So all of this, me running, me fighting you, that's what you wanted?" Her voice echoed like a hymn. "Not wanted, needed. The bond grows stronger each time you deny me. Every scream, every tear, every attempt to run only feeds us both. Do you not feel it? The fire in your chest." He touched his heart, horrified. The bond pulsed harder than ever. The final trap. He realized then that there was never a choice. Running strengthened it. Fighting strengthened it. Accepting strengthened it. Every path led back to her. His body shook. Then what happens now? Her glowing hand reached out, touching his cheek. The room filled with silver light. "Now," she whispered, "you understand?" And before he could answer, the bond surged. His body arched with pain and fire. His scream echoed through the ruined church, shaking the walls. When the light faded, he was on his knees, gasping. His hands glowed faintly. His reflection in the broken glass was no longer fully human. She knelt beside him, smiling. "Do you see? You never had to choose. The bond was always the only path." His breath trembled. His eyes glowed faintly now, just like hers. And in that moment, he realized the truth. He had not escaped her. He had become her. He couldn't breathe inside the apartment anymore. Every corner, every shadow, every whisper reminded him of her. She said she was his shield, but all he felt was a cage closing tighter every day. So he planned quietly, secretly one night, while she stood by the window, watching the stars with her glowing eyes, he packed a small bag. Just clothes, a little food, and the few credits he had saved. He moved slowly, his heart pounding. If she was truly bound to him, maybe distance would break it. Maybe if he ran far enough, she would lose him. He whispered to himself, just one chance. Just one. The run at dawn, he left. He didn't use the front door. He climbed out the fire escape, his bag strapped tight, his breath short. The streets were empty, the city half asleep. He ran. Past alleys, past markets, past the silent watchers that always seemed to stand still. He didn't look back. He COULDN single quotes to every step felt like freedom. For the first time in weeks, he believed he might be free. But then, he heard it. A soft voice, not in his ears, but in his mind. "Where are you going?" He stumbled. His legs almost gave out. He pressed his hands to his head, shaking it violently. "Get out. Stay away." The whisper followed, calm, almost gentle. "You cannot run. You cannot leave. I am with you." He screamed into the empty street, but no one turned. No one cared. The hunter's return, he reached the train station, breathless, desperate. He bought a ticket with trembling hands, pushing through the crowd. For a moment, he thought it was working. For a moment, he thought he might escape. Then he saw them, the shadow men, 3 again, standing by the gates. Their faces calm, their eyes too dark. They didn't move, but he knew. They were waiting for him. His heart sank. He turned to leave, but the crowd shifted, trapping him. He heard the one voice whisper of the hunters, "Return her, or you die," he shouted back, his voice cracking. "I don't have her. She's not here." But the crowd fell silent, and slowly. Every head turned toward him, not human faces, not human eyes. The whole station filled with shadow things wearing human skin. He dropped his bag. His knees went weak. He couldn't move. Then the lights exploded. Sparks rained from the ceiling. Alarms wailed. Glass shattered. And there she was, standing between him and the hunters. Glowing, her hair floating like smoke. "You thought you could run," she whispered, "but they would always find you." The shadow men attacked. The battle of the station became chaos. The crowd screamed half-human, half-hollow things revealing their true faces. Metal twisted in the air. Floors cracked. She moved like lightning, her hands glowing with strange power. One hunter's head snapped backward. Another burned to ash. The third tore apart in pieces of smoke. But for every one she struck down, more appeared. He crawled under broken seats, his ears ringing, his body shaking. He wanted to escape, but the exit was fire and shadows. Then he felt it again. The bond. The heat in his chest, her voice whispered inside him. "I fight because of you. I bleed because of you. You cannot escape me," he shouted back in his mind. "I never asked for this." Her voice grew sharper, almost fierce. "But you needed it. That is why you called me." The battle ended as suddenly as it began. The hunters were gone. The station was broken, filled with smoke and silence. He stood slowly, his legs trembling. She stood in the center of the destruction, untouched, her eyes glowing brighter than ever. He whispered, "You saved me. But I still don't want you." She stepped closer. "You don't understand. You cannot want or not want. The bond is not choice. The bond is truth." He backed away, his heart pounding. "Then I'll break it. I'll find a way." Her smile was faint, unsettling. "You can try. But every time you run, every time you fight, the bond only grows. You are already mine." His breath caught. The walls around him seemed to close in. The exit, the freedom, the hope pit was all gone, because escape was never outside. Escape was inside, and inside he was already trapped. The city was broken after the station attack. Buildings burned, sirens wailed, people whispered of monsters in the crowd. But he couldn't stay to hear the stories. He was already running again, through alleys and empty streets, his chest heavy with fear. She followed, as always, silent, steady, her glowing eyes never leaving him at last. He stopped in a forgotten place, an abandoned church at the edge of the city. The glass windows were broken, the pews covered in dust. He sank to the floor, exhausted. "Tell me," he whispered, his voice raw. "Tell me the truth. What are you? Why me? Why won't you let me go?" She stepped closer, her silver skin glowing faintly in the dark. For once, her calm mask seemed to crack. Her voice was low, but sharp. "You still think I am a slave? You still think I was sold? That is the lie they told you. That is what the black market wanted you to believe. Then what are you?" He demanded, her glowing eyes narrowed. "I am not property. I am not a weapon. I am a seed." He frowned, confused. "A seed?" "Yes." Her voice echoed strangely in the ruined hall. "I was created, long ago, not by one race, not by one world, but by many. They called me the bonded, a living key. My purpose is simple, to find, to choose, to join." His throat went dry. "To join? What?" Her gaze locked onto his, heavy and unblinking. "To join with one who can carry me. To merge? To grow into something greater." He stepped back, his stomach twisting. "You mean me?" Her smile was faint, almost tender, but her words were terrifying. "Yes, I chose you. You are the soil. I am the seed. Together, we are the future." The revelation, his hands shook. "No, I'm human. I don't want this." Her whisper slipped into his mind again, softer this time, almost sweet. "You think you are weak. But I saw what you could be. I felt it the moment you raised your hand. It was not an accident. You called me. And I answered." He pressed his palms to his head, shaking. "I didn't call you. I didn't." She stepped closer, kneeling in front of him, her eyes glowing brighter. "You did not speak with words. You spoke with your fear, your loneliness, your hunger for meaning. That is what drew me. That is why I came to you." Tears stung his eyes. "I don't want this kind of meaning. I just want my life back." Her expression softened, almost sad. "Your old life is gone. The hunters will never stop. The bond will never break. You can only choose how you accept it." The memory shared suddenly. Her hand touched his forehead. He gasped. Images flooded his mind. He saw stars being born, entire galaxies spinning. He saw alien worlds, endless cities built on glass and fire. He saw armies hunting her kind, breaking them, selling them as slaves. And then he saw himself, but not as he was now. Stronger, taller, his eyes glowing like hers. A being of light and shadow, not human, not alien, but something between. He pulled away, screaming. Stop. Get out of my head. Her voice was soft. That is not your head. That is your future. The choice. He staggered back, breathing hard. So that's it. I'm just a host. A tool for you to use. She shook her head. No. You are more. You are the first human chosen. Do you understand what that means? Together, we can be more powerful than any hunter, any black market, any empire. Her words carried both promise and threat. Power or destruction, he whispered. And if I refuse? Her glowing eyes dimmed. For a moment, she looked almost human, almost fragile. Then she leaned close, her breath cold against his ear. If you refuse, the bond will still grow. It will break your body. It will burn your mind. And still, you will be mine in the end. The dark truth of silence in the ruined church was heavy. He felt his heart racing, his chest burning where the bond pulsed. He finally spoke, his voice trembling. So you didn't save me. You trapped me. She touched his cheek, gentle but unshakable. No, I gave you the truth. I gave you purpose. You will hate me now, but soon. You will understand. This is not a prison. It is love. Love. His voice cracked. This is not love. This is control. Her smile widened. Love and control are not so different when two souls are one. The bond inside him pulsed harder, like a second heartbeat syncing with hers. He realized with horror that part of him wanted it. He didn't know if that desire was his own nor hers, and that was the darkest truth of all. The days after the market felt unreal. He told himself it was only a bad dream. He told himself that if he ignored her, she would vanish. But every time he opened his eyes, she was there. She didn't eat. She didn't sleep. She didn't knock. She was simply present, sometimes by the window, sometimes standing in the corner, sometimes behind him when he thought he was alone, and always. Her eyes glowed softly in the dark. He tried to live his normal life. Go to work. Walk through the crowded streets. Talk to people. But no matter where he went, she followed. Quiet, calm, unblinking. At first, people laughed. His friends teased him. Who's the new girlfriend? They joked. But soon, they stopped laughing. Because strange things began to happen. The lights one night, as he argued with her, the lights in his apartment flickered. He shouted, "Leave me alone." And every bulb in the room shattered at once. Glass rained down, sparks danced, the air burned with smoke. He froze. She stood in the middle of the room, untouched, her expression calm. "I didn't touch them," he whispered. She tilted her head. "I did not need to. The machine at work, it got worse." His job was simple, fixing machines, repairing old tech. But when she followed him into the workshop, the machines reacted strangely. A broken console that hadn't worked for years suddenly powered on when she walked past it. Screens filled with strange symbols, letters he had never seen. His boss shouted at him, but he couldn't explain. Later, when they were alone, he demanded answers. "What did you do?" She looked at him with her glowing eyes. "I only showed the machine the truth. They are easy to speak with. Machines don't talk," he snapped. Her smile was soft, almost kind. "Not to you. To me, they never stop." The neighborhood was not just machines. One evening, his neighbor came knocking. The man was angry, shouting about noise, about strangers in the building. He pushed the door, stepping inside, pointing his finger at him. But then, he stopped. His face went pale. His eyes locked on her. "What? What is she?" He whispered, stepping back. She didn't move. She didn't speak. She only looked at him. And the neighbor's voice died in his throat. His hand trembled, his breath shallow, as if invisible fingers wrapped around his chest. "Please," the neighbor whispered. "Make her stop looking at me." And then he ran. He never knocked again. The whisper that night, when he tried to sleep, he heard it again, the whisper in his mind. But this time, it wasn't just words. It was memories, his own memories, moments from his childhood. The face of his mother, the sound of his first bike crashing, his first kiss, his first lie. All of them played in his head, but not by his choice. He sat up in bed, sweating. "Stay out of my mind." Her voice whispered softly inside him. "I cannot. We are bound. Your memories are my memories now." He covered his ears, but it didn't matter. The whisper was not in the room, was inside his blood. The question the next morning, he could not take it anymore. He grabbed her wrist, pulling her close. "What are you?" he demanded. She looked at his hand holding her. Her skin was cold, smooth, almost metallic. Slowly, her eyes glowed brighter, and his hand felt numb. He let go. "I am not your enemy," she said softly. "But you must understand. You are changing. His voice cracked. "What are you talking about?" Her smile was faint, but her words heavy. "Every time I touch you, every time I speak to you, the bond grows. You think I follow you? But in truth, you are becoming part of me." His chest tightened. "No, I'm human. Just human." She stepped closer. The lights flickered again. The floor vibrated slightly, as if the whole building could feel her presence. "You are human, yes," she whispered, but not for long. The fear that night, he sat awake, staring at her. She stood by the window, glowing faintly in the dark city sky. Was she protecting him? Or was she changing him into something else? Every time he thought about running, he remembered the neighbor's face, the broken lights, the machines waking up. She was not weak. She was not helpless, and worst of all, deep inside his chest, he felt the truth, she whispered. The bond was real. He was already changing, and there was no going back. The city felt colder now. He could no longer walk the streets without feeling eyes on him. Sometimes he thought it was only in his head. But other times, he knew, strangers stared too long. Conversations stopped when he passed. And more than once, he saw dark figures reflected in shop windows, men who vanished the moment he turned around. Something was coming, and was not only because of her. The warning, it began with a message. A scrap of paper slipped under his door. No name, no address. Only 6 words written in red ink. "Return her, or lose everything." He showed it to her, his voice shaking. "What does this mean? Who are they?" She touched the paper lightly, her glowing eyes narrowing. "Hunters. They smell me. They want me back. Then go," he shouted. "If they want you, take them to you. Leave me out of this." Her face was calm, almost sad. "You still do not understand. You cannot send me away. I am bound to you." He ripped the paper, throwing the pieces on the floor. His hands shook. He wanted to believe he still had a choice. But the bond pulsed inside his chest like a second heartbeat, reminding him he was already part of her. The shadow meant they next night, he saw them. 3 men in long coats standing by the corner of the street. They didn't move. They didn't speak. They only watched. When he tried to approach, they slipped into the crowd and vanished. But later, when he looked out from his window, they were back. Always the same distance. "Always watching," he asked her. "Who are they really?" Her answer was quiet. "Not men. They wear men's faces. But inside, they are hollow. Black market creations. Killers made to hunt beings like me." His mouth went dry. "They're here for you. They'll stop if you leave. Her eyes glowed brighter in the dark. No, they will not stop. Not until one of us is gone. The first attack happened 2 days later. He was walking home from work, the streets nearly empty. When the air turned heavy, the sound of footsteps echoed behind him. Slow, measured, not human. He turned. The 3 shadow men walked in perfect rhythm. Their eyes were dark, too dark, like holes where light died. He backed away, his voice trembling. "I don't want trouble." They spoke together, one voice from 3 mouths. "Return the asset, or you die." Before he could answer, they rushed forward too fast, too strong, but then the air bent. She appeared between them and him, moving without sound. Her hair floated like smoke, her eyes burning with cold light. "Leave," she said. Only one word. The shadow men froze for a heartbeat. Then they attacked. The street exploded with noise. Metal tore from signs, glass cracked in windows. She moved like water, her hands slicing through the air. One shadow man flew backward into a wall, leaving cracks in the brick. Another dropped his body twitching like broken wires, but the third reached for him. He felt a cold hand grip his throat, pulling the air from his lungs. His vision blurred. His chest screamed. And then she touched the shadow's head. It turned to ash in a single second. The street fell silent. She turned to him, her hand still glowing faintly. "You see? They will never stop. As long as you live, I must stay. As long as I stay, they will come." He staggered back, gasping for air. His voice cracked. "Then you're a curse." Her glowing eyes dimmed, but her answer was calm. "No, I am your shield. The curse is not me. It is them." The fear spreads the next day. He noticed more changes. People avoided him in the street. Neighbors looked away when he passed. The news whispered about strange events, about unexplained lights and unknown violence. His phone rang once. An unknown voice spoke. "Run, leave the city. She will bring war." He hung up, his body shaking. But when he looked at her, she was already watching. "You cannot run," she whispered. "Where you go, I go. Where I go, the hunters follow." The truth in her eyes that night, he finally broke. "Why me? Why are they after us? Why did you choose me?" For the first time, her expression changed. Her calm face cracked and something deep burned in her eyes. "They fear me because I am not what they sold. They called me slave. They lied." "I am more," he whispered. "More what?" Her voice was almost a hiss now. "More than they can control. More than you can understand. And now, you are part of me." His blood ran cold. The threat was not only the hunters outside. It was the truth inside her. A truth he was not ready to face, approximately 810 words. The market was hidden under the city, a place where normal people never went. Broken signs flickered with red light. The air smelled of smoke, metal, and something strange. Something not human. It was the alien black market, a place full of things that should not exist. He walked through the narrow path, his hood low, his steps fast. He was not here to cause trouble. He only wanted cheap alien tech, maybe something he could sell later. But the market was dangerous. Too many eyes watched him. Too many voices whispered. Strange creatures stood in the shadows. Some were tall, with thin arms and glowing eyes. Some were short and covered in scales. All of them were here to buy or sell things forbidden by law. Weapons, machines, even living beings. He told himself he would just look, maybe buy a small gadget, then leave. But then he heard the voice. Lot number 99. The rarest prize tonight. The crowd turned. A cage was pushed onto the stage. Inside, there was movement. At first, he thought it was an animal. But then the figure stepped forward. It was not an animal. It was a girl. Her skin was pale with a silver shine. Her eyes glowed faint blue in the dark. Her hair floated as if it had no weight. She looked almost human. Almost. But something about her face, her presence, felt alien. The people around him whispered. A rare species. Perfect condition. Obedient, programmed. The man froze. He did not want this. He never planned to buy a living being. But his hand moved without his will. He raised the small bidding stick. The auctioneer shouted numbers. The crowd shouted louder. He tried to lower his hand, but something stopped him. His heart raced. He felt heat in his chest, like someone was pulling invisible strings. Sold. The auctioneer shouted, "Lot 99 belongs to him." The crowd clapped, laughed. Some even looked jealous. He was confused, shocked, even afraid. He wanted to say no, to run away. But the cage opened. The girl stepped out slowly. Her eyes locked on him. They were not the eyes of a slave. They were the eyes of someone who already knew him. She walked closer. Every step was silent, smooth, like a shadow moving on water. The market noise faded. He could only hear his heartbeat. When she stood before him, she spoke in a soft voice. Simple words. "You bought me. Now, I am yours." His mouth went dry. He wanted to say something, but no words came. The people around laughed again. They thought it was entertainment, just part of the trade. But her eyes told a different story. He tried to step back. But she moved faster. Her hand touched his arm. Cold at first, then warm, almost burning. In that moment, he felt something inside his mind. A whisper, "Do not run. You cannot leave me." His breath stopped. He looked at her, and she smiled faintly. It was not the smile of a slave. It was the smile of someone who had waited a long time. He pulled his arm away and ran through the crowd. He pushed past creatures, vendors, cages. But no matter how fast he moved, he felt her presence behind him. Not chasing, following, always close. When he reached the exit tunnel, he looked back. She was standing there, only a few steps away. Her glowing eyes never blinked. The market guards laughed. "Good luck, human. She belongs to you now," he shouted. "I don't want her. Take her back." But the girl tilted her head. Her voice echoed in his ears, soft but sharp. "You cannot escape me. You called me. You chose me." He shook his head. "I didn't. It was a mistake." Her smile widened, almost gentle, almost cruel. "There are no mistakes here. You are mine, and I will never let you go." The tunnel lights flickered. The ground shook slightly. He felt the air grow heavy. People around stepped back, afraid of her. Even the guards lowered their eyes. He realized something terrifying. She was not weak. She was not a victim. She was powerful, and now she was tied to him. He ran again, this time into the cold night outside the market. The city lights shone above, but they gave no comfort. Behind him, he heard soft footsteps. Calm, steady. She was following, always following. He turned a corner, pressed his back to the wall, tried to breathe. Maybe he could lose her. Maybe she would stop. But then he felt it again, the whisper inside his mind. "Why are you afraid? I am not your enemy. I am your future." He closed his eyes, his body shaking. What had he done? The story was only beginning. The night was quiet, but his heart was not. He walked fast through empty streets, hoping the strange girl had stayed behind. But he already knew the truth. She was there. Always there, her steps made no sound. She did not chase him. She simply appeared whenever he looked back. No matter how far he ran, she was only a few steps away, calm, steady, watching. He reached his small apartment and slammed the door shut. His hands shook as he locked it. For a moment, silence. For a moment, hope. Then he heard it. A soft knock. He froze. The knock came again, gentle, almost polite. Slowly, he opened the door a crack. She stood there, her glowing eyes calm, her face unreadable. "Go away," he whispered. She tilted her head. "I cannot. You bought me. I belong to you. I didn't mean to. It was a mistake." Her lips curved into a small smile. "There are no mistakes. You raised your hand. You chose." He slammed the door shut. His chest burned. He wanted to scream, but then he heard her voice again. Not outside, inside his head. "You are afraid of me, but I am not here to hurt you. I am here because you need me." His breath caught. He looked around the empty room. No one there. Only her voice, soft, cold, close. "Stay out of my head," he shouted. The silence after was worse than the voice itself. He sat down, his hands covering his face. He wanted this nightmare to end. But when he lifted his eyes again, she was inside, not outside the door, not in the hall. Inside his apartment, standing by the window. "How did you?" His words died. She stepped closer. "Locks cannot stop me." He stumbled back. "What do you want from me?" Her glowing eyes softened, just for a moment. "I want nothing. I only wish to stay with you. That is enough. Enough. You've ruined my life already." She touched her chest just above her heart. "Your life is not ruined. It is beginning." He stared at her, speechless. She was not angry, not violent. Just certain. To certain, he tried another way. "If you belong to me, then listen, leave. I order you to leave." Her smile returned, strange and unsettling. "You think I am a slave. That is what they told you. But no, I chose this. I chose you." He shook his head. "Why me?" She did not answer right away. Instead, she walked around the small room, touching things gently, like she was learning about his world. She picked up a photo from the table, a picture of him and his old friends. She studied it with interest. "You are human," she said softly, "but not like the others. I can feel it. Inside you is something different. Something strong." Her words made no sense. He was normal. Just a man trying to survive in a city that didn't care. There was nothing special about him. "You're wrong," he said. Her eyes glowed brighter. "Am I?" He felt the whisper again inside his mind, but this time it was not only words. It was feelings. A warmth spreading in his chest. A pull as if an invisible thread tied them together. He tried to fight it. He tried to break it, but the more he pushed, the stronger it grew. Finally, he shouted, "Stop. Get out of my head." The warmth faded. Her eyes dimmed slightly. For the first time, she looked almost sad. "You fear me. I understand." She turned to the window, her voice lower now. "But you will learn. You will see. I am not your enemy." He wanted to believe that. But the memory of her smile at the market haunted him. The way the guards looked afraid. The way her eyes glowed when she said, "I will never let you go." She was dangerous. He knew it, yet a part of him could not ignore the bond. That strange connection he felt when she touched him, when she whispered inside his mind. He sat down again, exhausted. "If you're going to stay, then tell me the truth. Who are you?" She turned back, her face calm again. "I am not your slave. I am not your prisoner. I am your bond. What does that even mean?" Her voice was soft, but each word felt heavy. "It means your life is tied to mine now. If you walk away, I will follow. If you fight me, I will still protect you. You can run from me 1,000 times, and still I will find you." His hands shook. "Why?" Her eyes glowed like small stars. "Because you are mine." The room went silent again. He felt the bond pulling at him, invisible but unbreakable. He realized something terrifying. This was not just a mistake at the market. This was the beginning of something much bigger, and no matter what he did, he was not alone anymore.